Kia ora, hello. Lovely to meet you. My name is Rachel O'Shea. I am the COO and co-founder here at Yabble, and I'm really delighted to share with you Yabble's view on text analytics and the future of research. Let's get started. I'm going to share with you a couple of insights and pieces of background and context about us, and then we're going to have a fantastic demo through the Yabble tools. Let's get started. All right, team, hiding all of the little bits that we don't need to see while we're doing it, and then we're away. Okay, so today's demonstration is all about AI and text analytics, and we're going to talk about it through the lens of researcher superpowers, because we here at Yabble firmly believe that researchers are at the forefront of our organizations and businesses, and some might say the insights we create give us superpowers. So to get us started, a little bit about Yabble. So Yabble is a cutting-edge research tech platform built on AI technology, and it's designed to improve your productivity, accuracy, and efficiencies. We, Catherine, my co-founder, and I have worked in the research industry for a long time. All of our tools are built by researchers for researchers. And that's really important because we know how researchers like to interrogate data, how important accuracy is, and the ability to check and recheck, the ability to filter your data and look for those little nuggets or those gems of an emerging trend coming through. And we get fantastic feedback on our UX and UI because we've designed it with the curious in mind. And we all know that researchers are innately curious. What we want to be curious about, though, is not how to process data, it's about how to use data. So our tools are, we kind of think of them as your friend. They're there to help you improve productivity, they deliver you accuracy and efficiencies. So you can do what you do best, and that's free your mind and create, think, and activate great outcomes for your businesses. One of the things that's really changed in recent years when we've been talking to people like yourselves is the volume and source of data has dramatically increased. And that increase in availability of data is causing us to think differently about how we do research, how we create insights, and where we go for information. So we could ignore this vast volume of data that's now available to us, but we'll miss stuff. We'll miss opportunities for growth. We'll miss insights that could really make the difference when it comes to engaging consumers in our products and brands. We will miss it if we keep doing things the way we've always done it, because the volume becomes overwhelming. And this is where AI and technology and text analytics have a massive role to play in being our friend and helping us find the signal in the noise. When we asked people, what is it that you're really challenged by? Speed of delivery for 30%. Everybody needs it faster. They need it instantly. They need to look at it through their own lens. We work with the largest supermarket group in the country, and each individual store owner of those supermarkets wants to look at their data. But their colleague at the very same time who looks after the region wants to look at the regional data and see how each of those supermarkets are performing against each other. And then sitting in head office, the overarching brand team need to look at how are consumers feeling about our brand nationally or at a store or regional level. Everybody needs data quickly, but they need it personalized. And that's where our technology has a real role to play. Budget constraints, man, don't we all need to save money in these times? It is a tough economic market. So doing more for less is absolutely a given. So use technology like text analytics to speed up your analysis time. Keep doing those qualitative interviews. Do an hour in-depth interview with someone, but don't spend an hour analyzing it. Run it through text analytics tools like Yabble Summarize, and you can save hours and hours of analysis. Amazing example recently, I was talking to one of the most respected qualitative researchers in North America. He had to do 20 interviews. He used and was one of the earliest users of our technology for Summarize. He uploaded those 20 transcripts, and his analysis time went from 20 hours to 3 hours. That's an 80% decrease in analysis time. So that saves him money, saves his end customer money, and saves time. So tech is absolutely our friend when it comes to particularly qualitative interviews. And I think that's really an important and emerging area. And that obviously gives us enough time to help influence the business and make great outcomes. So that's what we're all about here at Yabble. So AI, friend or foe? 100% friend. If we think back 10 years ago when AI was emerging, there was questions around reliability, accuracy. It could only work on large data. It was biased based on models. All of those were fair concerns in the day. But AI has come a long way. And so we treat it now very much as a friend. Yabble works on the OpenAI ChatGPT-3 platform. We were actually one of the very first users of that technology and have been using it for a number of years. 80 billion parameters of data it's been trained on. That's a huge amount that's feeding those models. And that gives it a really big head start. But that's not enough. What you need on top of that is really smart, researcher-driven proprietary models and algorithms and approaches to give the data context, to get it thinking really well about your data, your unique needs. And that's what we've done here at Yabble. In fact, to the best of my knowledge, we worked with OpenAI in their alpha program. We were the very first company to build Ask Your Data a Question. So we've been asking data a question for quite a long time now, and we know how powerful that can be. So we look forward to sharing that with you shortly. So our thousands and thousands of researcher-trained models, not human-trained, researcher-trained, are very accurate and give the Yabble technology a real point of difference. So team, what does that mean in terms of products you can use when you log into Yabble and what I'm about to demo for you? 3 key things. Theming. It's bread and butter of text analytics. It's really important. It enables us to get through big volumes of data really quickly. We can code, theme and sub-theme. We can trend and track over time. We can filter and we can edit. We've got a lot of great features available to you. The next one, and probably my favorite as a curious person, is asking your data a question. We call it our query product, and you can ask your data a specific question about why do people feel that way. And using natural language processing, understanding, and generation, we give you a short, succinct, humanistic summary that answers that question for you. And summarization, this is taking those beautiful, rich conversations that we have, be it in IDI interviews or in-depth interviews, be it in a video chat like this where you've recorded a conversation, and transfers that into really short outputs so you can get to those nuggets really quickly. Let's jump into Yabble and take a look at how all of these work in practice. Okay, team, here we are on yabble.com. This is where you find us. You can find lots of information about us. You can book a demo to find out more. And today we've got 1,500 free credits for anyone who's watched this demo and wants to put us to the test, because we think our technology is amazing. And so we're giving you 1,500 free credits to come and give it a go. So come reach out to us through our Book a Demo tab. But once you log into the Yabble platform, this is where you'll land. It says to me, "Good morning, Rachel," because I'm here in New Zealand and the future is bright today. We have here recent activity. So if you come and log in often, like many of our users do, you can jump quickly back to projects you've been working on. If you're here to upload some new data for the first time, then you can do that through these quick navigational features as well. So importing data, we take any data type here at Yabble, and we are data agnostic. We have the ability to work equally well with ad hoc data as we do longitudinal data. And the ad hoc data is actually probably more important to a lot of people, because you have a project, you're like, oh, could I use it? 100% you can. And we work on both small and large data sets. So let's get started with importing data. If we import our data, really simple 3-stage process. What sort of data have you got? Might be survey, review, or interview data. Let's say interview data for today. Here's our interview data, just flicking tabs to make it a little bit faster. So you upload your file, and you can upload multiple files here. You confirm you have permission to use the data, and that's really important to us. It's also worth noting that Yabble has a 100% opt-out policy with OpenAI for ChatGPT-3. That means the data that you upload into Yabble is walled off or segmented and is not passed back for future training of GPT-3 models. So you can rest assured that your data is secure and well looked after. You come in and you give your project a name. In this case, it's our superpower interviews. Tell us which industry you might be talking about, other, because researchers aren't typically interviewed very often, and you give your project a name. That's simple. Click next, and it takes you through to our context. And context, as you all know, for AI is really important. The more you tell it, the more it has to work with, and the more accurate the results are that you get back. So here, we've provided context on this interview we did with someone about research superpowers. So we've said what it is. It's an interview with researchers. We've asked them to imagine if they had superpowers, what would they be? We've also asked them to talk about data and specifically how it's changed over their career, the biggest pain points or challenges. So you will know, and you will be great at writing context as insights professionals. Write some great context in here. Simply hit review, and this will go and process in the Hey Yabble engine. A 1 hour interview will take less than a minute. You might have 20 1-hour interviews, less than 3 minutes. Exceptionally, exceptionally fast. Let's go and see what happens once you hit review. Here you come into the Hey Yabble section of our platform, and we have here the output of this particular project. Over here on the right, you can see what the context was, so it's a nice reminder for you. You also have the number of files that have been analyzed. In this case, there are 10 in here. I just showed you uploading of one. You can upload all together, or you can upload as you go. One of the things that our customers love, one was recently doing 20 in-depth interviews. There were 3 researchers attached to those interviews. And as each interviewer finished, they would simply upload their latest one into here. And then you could start to see the insights coming through from all the different interviews. You could quickly look at what your colleagues had found out in theirs. That might prompt you to ask more questions in your interviews. You could see where it was starting to emerge as similar trends from these chunks of information and move forward from there. So really good iterative tool to use it as you go or all at once. If we have a look here at this first interview, so Adrian, and again, this is shared with Adrian's permission. Adrian is the head of the insights for McDonald's in New Zealand. He's got experience with lots of forms of data. He would like telepathy to be his superpower. And he's seen a lot of changes over the years from the amount of information available to the different types of data being used. So you can start to see that some of the general things that we were talked about have come through in that chunk, kind of the setup. Then we get into the biggest pain point. It's getting all the different data sources to talk to each other to get a single view of your customer. And I'm sure that resonates with a lot of you. So you can see very quickly the summarize tool takes long interviews. It takes out the stuff that's not relevant. We've got some good cleaning and kind of filtering in the back end that gives you just the richness in the front end. You can see then how Adrian's kind of feedback is to Edwin's or Emily's as well as you go through. Summarize features our latest product. There's actually a lot about to roll off and into production for you to use, including highlight features, snippets, different ways of filtering the data as well. So this is a really exciting and emerging product for us. Let's switch over now to the other 2 products in the Yabble stable. So we talked about Count, and this is really the bread and butter of text analytics. Here, if you've got a counted product, how have the types, volumes, and use of data changed over your research career? That was a question that we used and we wanted it to count. There were 103 comments that were uploaded and counted. We have an overall sentiment feature, so you can just quickly glance and see, based on this total data set, what is it that I'm looking at? So this one is actually broadly neutral. You come down now, you can come into themes and sub-themes. So at Yabble, we believe that you want big picture, but you also want detail. So we've created both in the way that we segment our data. Our themes are typically one word, they're big buckets, and they enable you to get a really quick kind of top line view of things. Here you can see availability is the biggest theme, 35% of the total. It's largely positive in terms of sentiment and has a 68% positive sentiment score. Because you're curious, you'll want to perhaps filter this data and look at it by count or by percentage of theme or percentage of total. So lots of quick, easy ways to segment and cut your data. You go, okay, what's making up availability? What's the drivers of that 35%? Here you can see the sub-themes. So the first one at 15.5 is there's a greater range of data available. That's a really natural language way of speaking to you about a sub-theme. And we get really fantastic feedback on sub-themes. And in fact, quite a few of our customers will go to sub-themes first, just to see what's going through. It's getting more expensive down the bottom end for 1% of people. More personal information is given. That's true. We are getting more of that. And if you wanted to see what the comments were that made up that particular sub-theme, over here on the right, you can see all of the comments and where those comments have been coded to. So lots of different ways of looking at the data. We quickly look at the sub-theme view here. You can see that data volume continues to increase is the biggest sub-theme. It's attached to the volume theme there in brackets, the greater range of data available, the sources of it, faster insights, different methods of data collection, AI-driven decision-making is all how data has changed over your research career. If you were doing a longitudinal study, you could come down here to the trended area of the platform and you can look at trends over weeks, months, quarters, or years. You can look at how the sentiment has changed over those time periods. Are things getting broadly more positive around data availability? Or actually, are they becoming more negative? We encourage you to have a look at any of these different pieces of data over the time periods, but also by using our filters. And a couple of key things about filters. Yabble's filters are unlimited. The more filters or variables you have and you might want to analyze by, the more you should pass to us or upload. If you've got a customer segmentation in your CRM system, you've got all of this rich data about people, add that to this data set and then you can analyze by it. Our filters enable you to analyze by response state. We've got customers every week who look at their customer satisfaction for in-store shopping experience. Some look at it every day. So you can filter by latest response. Variables, your demographics, your customer segmentations could actually be a question that you've asked somebody. Just simply click the filter that you want to add, apply those filters or clear them. Really simple. We also know that you might want to edit things. So we have an edit feature function that allows you to do 3 key things. It allows you to change the name of your buckets. If you came in here and you said, actually, availability isn't quite what we call it in our business, we'd probably call it data availability. No problem, just change it to data. You then have a change log here that shows you all of the changes that have been made and by who. Don't like the change, just hit reset. We also know that moving things around or merging things together might be something you want to do. Technology and automation, for example. They might be the same in your world, and based on your experience of the data, you might think that they go better together. Simply click on them and decide which of the 2 themes you want to merge them to. We might choose automation in this case, merge, and you'll see that that is now appearing in the log, and that has come together as now the 3rd largest theme with 15 combined comments. So merge, move, edit, rename, all of the little things that you want to do with your data to make it more personalized to your organization. So the count tool is fantastic, it's fast, it's customizable and editable, and it has fantastic filtering. We have a whole lot of visualization tools that are also coming out over the next couple of weeks. We call it Yabble Stories, where you'll be able to look at different ways of surfacing this data for your stakeholders as well. So stay tuned to hear more from us on that. And lastly, I wanted to show you query. So this is where you might want to ask your data a question. How do we create a query? We go into query data. We choose the project that we want to query the data from. So every project has a name when it's uploaded. You might have multiple questions in that data. So you go and have a quick look and go, okay, what is it that I want to pull up? How's the data changed? Or what superpowers do people have? Or what's the biggest challenges? And you give it a question. You simply hit create, and then up comes your query. So here, let's have a look at this as it comes out. So the question we asked, our query, was, why do researchers want superpowers? Big, beautiful, open-ended questions are fantastic to use in this type of tool. The AI has gone and read all of the comments associated with this, and in this case, it's 35 comments. We've used filters to make it really specific, and it's come back and said there's a number of reasons why researchers might want superpowers. including the ability to gather data more quickly and accurately, to predict the future, and to work more efficiently. Some would like to be able to pause time or have more time in their day. Personally relate to that one. Or they can manage data more effectively, helping them understand context or having telepathic powers. So you can see there's a lot of really lovely insights coming through. And you can see what some of the comments were that have been attributed to this particular query as well. And you can go back into your data over here and go, actually, what were people talking about? Does this make sense? So it's a really much the what and the why. They're fantastic tools in combination with each other. And I think there's an immense richness in being able to ask your data a question. I remember quite a while ago when we launched this product, one of our users was sitting in a meeting with the stakeholders. They were talking about and debating what customers were thinking on a particular topic. And in the end, this insights professional said, well, why don't we just ask them? Logged onto Yabble, asked the question of that data, and they had a validated answer back rather than having a subjective conversation in a meeting. That's pretty powerful and a pretty awesome way to use the Yabble technology. So team, that is the Yabble tech. If I take you back now, just as a reminder, we can theme data, any data, big or small, any data type, ad hoc or longitudinal. We can ask data questions. And this is an area of exploration that I think is really powerful as we get into the future of research. And we can summarize. So don't just think of text analytics as having to be quantitative data. It can be qualitative conversations and turn these into insights in minutes. So lastly, it's an invitation from us. We would love you to take our Yabble challenge and you get your first project on us. We're offering up to 1,500 Yabble credits. Credits are our unit of currency here at Yabble. You can use a credit to count data, to ask a question, or to summarize. So this will enable you to look at a whole lot of different data. Credits last for 12 months when you purchase them with us. So you have the flexibility to use things when you want. You don't have to run on subscription models. So we're flexible, we're unlimited in users. We go across all different data types and we'd love you to give us a go. So thank you for your time today. We really look forward to talking to you. Get in touch on hello@yabble.com. I'm Rachel at yabble.com, or go to our website and book a demo. Thank you so much for your time today, and we wish you all the best. Cheers.